is cool. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make an anime edit. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do the scales, the Twixtor, and some effects. But I'm not gonna do the shakes or the CC because that's a whole different video and it's gonna make this video longer. So I might make a part 2 if it does good. But keep in mind this is not a Fortnite edit related topic, so this is gonna be anime editing, and I just want to branch out to it. So because I kind of like anime editing. So first we're gonna open our comp in AE. This is AE tutorial, by the way, as you can see. I think I put in the title. Yeah. Alright. So first I'm gonna put this at 1080. If I can even type it. So this is like it's a cube 1 by 1. It's an Instagram cube, and a lot of people use it for anime edits. And the frame rate is 24. That's my go-to frame rate. And yeah, first I'm gonna press OK. Yeah. Now we got a whole comp. We got a timeline. Amazing. Now first you wanna import your song and sync up. So I'm gonna come back when I sync up. Alright, now that I'm back from syncing up my song and with the beats, I do want to mention I already did this edit before, like a day ago. I posted it on my TikTok, and I do main TikTok more than my other socials, but you can also check out my TikTok. That'd be amazing. But first, we did the syncing. Now I want to get my clips, so I got Agame got Kill. It's a good anime, and I'll be using episode 15. I might put the project file in the description, by the way, if you also want to do this. And the song I'll be using is Long Live. It should be in the description. Alright, so now I'm gonna go put this down and look for the sins.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Or the sins, not sins, what the heck? I'm not editing Fortnite. We're gonna be getting the clips or the scenes that I want to edit. So I'll come back and yeah. Alright, now that I got my clips, I got like this. So this clip is like her just like panning right where they're about to fight. But I'll make this a sad edit, so you know, I gotta be that Bart Simpson, you know, I gotta be sad, you know, I gotta be depressed, you know. So this song is kind of depressing too. So I've been using this outer clip of them just panning right, and then I'm gonna get this another outer clip of her using her ability, and then I want to do after this, like right here, I want to zoom in to her face, like where it does right here in the clip, and then I want to zoom in one more time to her eye where it's also shown in this episode. So like it kind of helps out. A piece of this 3B right here, it's gonna make this eye kind of like sick. So now that I have my clips already set up, the ones I'm gonna use use Twixtor now to make this little clean slow-mo. So first you want to add a Twixtor Pro. So Twixtor Pro it's a plugin you can get for free. There's probably multiple YouTube videos on it, but I'm gonna be showing you guys the faster way how to do Twixtor. This might not be the best, but it works. I've seen a lot of people use it. I don't see any difference technically with the longer way or this way. This is probably the shortest and fastest way to get your anime edits done. So yeah, I want to put my input frame rate at 7, and I want to put my image prep contrast and make sure your motion vector is at best. So now you want to keyframe 100 and just keep it keyframed and just let it there. So now we have warping. So if you see like little warps, you'll probably see it in your clip if it's too much movement or something. If that does happen, you could just mess around with the warping. I usually use inverse with Smart Blend. It makes it more smoother in my opinion. And if there's more warping, you could probably maybe fix it with the main motion blur. You can just turn this one down or up, and it'll show you more motion blur. So first, yeah, I'm gonna just copy and paste this and putting it to every clip. Fast Twixtor, there we go. Alright, so I made it a preset already because I'm not gonna take my whole time. And this effects console right here, hold on, let me add it right here. It's the FFX console. It's the best thing ever. It has like all my presets and effects you just put in your preset folder and it'll be there. So I'm applying all my Twixtor or the thing we just did, and do it for this. Okay, look, see we see any warping? See right here? No, we're good. And this one, nope, we should be good. Make sure, yeah, we don't see this one. We want to trim this one down. And do we see anything in this one? Let me import my Twixtor. Fast Twixtor. And we should be good. Alright, now that we have our Twixtor already done, the fastest Twixtor, the fastest way to do it on anime editing, in my opinion, it's a lifesaver. So now we're gonna pre-compose and start doing the scales. Alright, so I'm gonna pre-compose this. Alright, you wanna make sure that adjust composition is, that little box I just unchecked is not checked. Because if you do, it's just gonna have it, look, if we're just gonna do that, it's gonna stay there, but we wanna make it sure it actually hits the beat right here. So we're gonna Control C, get that back, and pre-compose and make sure this box is not selected. Alright, now that we have that done, we're gonna Control Alt T. This is your time map. So you wanna go to the beginning of the clip where you started, and then look for it when it ends. So I'm gonna see where it ends. Right here. So I'm gonna put a keyframe right there. Go to the beat. Yeah, drag it all the way to the beat. Alright, now we have, let me turn off this so we main this one. Alright, now that we have this one, it's going all the way to the beat. Now we wanna Shift Control D, or Shift Control D. Delete all these. Hit U. And then we're gonna F9 these two keyframes. So the F9ing makes this graph in the top left, and we're gonna do this little graph. You can copy along, so you know you're actually doing it right. So you want to drag this one up and this one a little bit down, and you're gonna get this a little smooth movement. Let me mute the audio too, and we gotta wait for it to render too. Yeah, Twixtor like takes a lot, so let's see if we can actually render this, right? Alright, okay, now we're gonna do this, and boom. You get this little smooth Twixtor movement. And that's what we really want. So now that we have that, I'm gonna start doing that for the rest of these, so I'll come back. Alright, now that we're back, I already time map all of these, and now that we already have the fast Twixtor set up too, let's see what we have so far. That's kind of smooth, and I kind of like it. I kind of like that smooth, and the song's such a vibe too. And right here, before you like wonder why it just ends right here, I have a loop in the song. It has the same beats, so it goes well. So yeah. Alright, I accidentally moved that. Alright, first we want to do the scales. So first you want to hit S on your first. So this first part, so this is the first clip, and it's kind of outer, right? So I want to do 200. We're gonna do like an out graph, like a zoom out, basically. So we're gonna hit O, so it moves out to the end, and I go to the first marker or the second marker and put 100. We're gonna select both of these, F9, and then you wanna make this graph right here. Just try to follow like the best you can. Also, I'm gonna mute the audio, and also AE is kind of different. So I have this little circle thing in the left, bottom left. It's like, it says, let me see if motion blur. Yeah, if you see it, yeah, motion blur. You want to select that on all your columns. So this like gives it a little blur. And don't get me wrong, you're gonna add RSMB later with the render, but this also helps it out, smooth it out. And also with AE, you want to enable motion blur so it actually works. That's kind of the weird thing about it. So yeah. Alright, now that we have that, we're gonna see what we have so far with this graph. That's sick. It just goes out, it zooms out. That's what we like, because it's like an outer clip. So now that we have that first already done, we're in pre-compose, and we're gonna have this box this time checked, because we already have it already Twixtored. We have a time remap. We already did the first scale, and now we're gonna do the outer scale. So for this, we're gonna do 25 at the, so make sure you do 25 at the end. So 25, keyframe this. We're not at motion tab right now, but like, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do like 6. put 100. I'm gonna add my motion tile, so go search up motion tile, and then 540 by 540 because that's the comp of this. If you do have your own preset, make sure to put it 540 because it's gonna be really weird. And make sure it's 200 on output width and height. And make sure to check that box mirror edges, so you get this little, yeah. If you do get this, you might want to fix it up a little because it does glitches out sometimes, but we're gonna fix that. So we're gonna hit F9. Hold up. Okay, I think I screwed it up. Nope. What? Okay, well, we'll just see right now. We'll fix it right now. Alright, now that we want to do this, we're gonna do this outer graph. So it's gonna go like this. Try to follow the graphs along, and you should get it. So now this is a zoom out basically. So it's going 25, so it's gonna zoom out. So we already have this zoom out, so make sure, keep in mind, we already did this zoom out. We're showing the clip, and then we're gonna do another zoom out because this clip is already like outer. It's not in like how this clip is. Like these are inner. So now we're gonna go hit the clip, second clip. So the first clip is already done. You can pre-compose it and add your shakes later, or you could just leave it with the outer scale. Now I want to do 200 right here because this is a zoom out, and we're already doing a zoom out here, so it's 25 and 200, so it's gonna make sense. So we'll see. And then we hit O, so we go to the next marker, put 100, and then it starts getting different because we're gonna do a zoom in here. So yeah, we'll see right now. You'll see. Alright, now we're gonna do the same graph we did in the beginning, and then it's gonna go boom, yep. And then look, so look, if we play these two so far, we're just these two scales first. There's a zoom out transition and a zoom in, boom, or a zoom out and then the zoom out. Or get this synced, perfect zoom out. Alright, now we're gonna go to the second clip. So we have a zoom in clip. It's not a zoom out clip like these. So we're gonna do, so pre-compose, right? Make sure you pre-compose it. Hit S on the end. And I'm gonna do 140. And I'm gonna do like 5 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put that 100. So this is like a zoom in. So it's going, and then make sure to hit F9 on those 2 keyframes. And we're gonna do this graph. Just try to follow along, and yeah, I'm gonna do this zoom in. I'm gonna go add motion tile to this part because we're gonna do a zoom in right here. So we have a zoom in on this part, right? And we're gonna add motion tile. So I'm just Control C and paste on this one. So we already have motion tile on this one. Should have known. So I'm gonna do. So you could do 25 because this is a zoom in, right? But you could do 25, but I'm gonna do 80 because it's all about experimenting. And I'm gonna go to O and go to the next beat and put around 120. 120 because you want to make sure it actually zooms in. Now you want to graph these two, F9, and follow along. So now we did that, it's gonna look like this. Perfect zoom in. Alright, now that we have the zoom in, we're gonna pre-compose, and we're gonna might redo the steps because follow the steps we just did on that zoom in. So we're gonna do on this clip. So technically speaking, you can just Control C this if you really want to. If you're really lazy, this is probably your best bet. But I'm just gonna do it. So hit O. Hit S. I'm gonna do 140, keyframe it, and then 1, 2. Well, let me go start from here and count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put 100, and then follow along. F9, and then copy the graph. Alright, now that we're in this clip. Now that we have the zoom in already we're gonna do this clip and make sure to add motion tile. I already had it added. So what I'm gonna do is 80, keyframe it to right here, because there's a B right here. Hold on, let me see if I can hear it. Make sure these audios muted, and then right here there's a B. So I'm gonna do something like this. So I'm gonna go. Let me move like. Okay, so I'm gonna go from B and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 4, do 100, and right here there's a B right here. So I'm gonna do a little. So I'm gonna go from the middle and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and go 140. So it gets this little zoom in, and then zoom out right here. So 100. So this is gonna do. So now we're in F9. So you're gonna pay attention in this part. Because there's a beat right there, and we're doing a zoom in while with this beat. So first, you want to do the zoom in graph, how we showed before. The project file is going to be in the description if you do want to learn how to do this. Make sure, I guess my motion blur just turned off, so I'm going to turn these on, make sure. Alright, now that we did the zoom in part, let's see if we did this. Maybe the audio, and there we go. We get this smooth zoom in, and right here, this is where the beat is. So I'm gonna do is select this keyframe, drag it up, and drag this one up. So now we're gonna get this boom, and it's gonna get that little zoom in, like, and then you wanna get this outer zoom in. Because this little beat like ends right here, and then it goes zooms out, and then boom. So now that we did that, let's see what we have. Let's see how it looks. It might be a little too fast, so I actually might want to refix the graph. So it's all just about messing around with the graph. It doesn't always have to look like how mine looks. So every clip is a little different. So yeah, we'll just mess around, and yeah. I kind of like that. So we're gonna go all the way to the beginning with the audio, and let's see what we have with the scales done. So yeah, I think I did mess up, so I might just mess around with this. Yeah, so I'm gonna fix this graph right here and try and make it smoother. Actually, instead of 140, I actually might change it to 120. It might be too much. I don't think I like it 140, so it's just messing around, technically speaking. If you do want to like just mess around with the scales, it's all good. There we go. That looks much better in my opinion. Because 140 seems like too much for this little beat. 140 seems like too much. So it's all about messing around and like just editing. That's the point of editing, just messing around. I kind of want to like zoom out a little bit more, so I'm like trying to move this graph, this point right here. There we go. That's what I kind of like, and now let's add some effects to it, and we're basically almost done. We literally just did the scales and the whole thing in what, under like a few minutes. It's easy to make these types of edits. But if we want to do in-depth editing on anime, that's a whole different thing, and it's gonna make the video longer. But hopefully you guys do enjoy, and let's finish this up. Alright, now that we have that looks a banger. Everything looks smooth. Now let's add some effects. So you want to click on this. I click on this comp and Control Alt Y. That brings your adjustment layer. So you want to Shift Control D, and delete this part. Click on this still. Move like 6 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna hit the plus sign, Shift Control D, and this is the point where you mess around with your clips. So I'll add. So this is the beginning clip. So I kind of want to add lens blur. It helps so much. So BCC lens blur OBS. Put the gamma. I don't know, 1000. I don't know how to say it. And you want to put the iris scale at 28. You want to keyframe this and hit O, or I forgot it. And I'm put 0. Alright, now we have this. We're gonna select both of these and F9. Now this graph is gonna be a little bit different because we're gonna do a little ease out, but we want to make sure it's still there so it looks actually pretty good. So you want to do this graph, this type of graph, right? Like slopes out, and we're gonna get this little slope out. So let me select this and select this one, and let's see what we have. Yeah, that's what we like. It zooms out. Actually, it's too fast, so I might do. There we go. So this is also the beginning. So I actually want to add like, so brightness and contrast. It's in AE. So I'm gonna put the brightness at 150, keyframe it, and put this at 0. So this one's like the brightness. So this is also like part of the beginning. Select these two, F9, and we're gonna do the same graph, but we're gonna make this graph a little bit quicker because we do not want our brightness like all the way. So we get this little effect because it's also the beginning of the clip too. So let us see what we have now. It's a little too fast, so I'm gonna probably mess around with the graph. There we go. Now let's hear the audio. It's a little too fast in my opinion. So if it's too short, you can hit Alt on the adjustment layer and drag it to the right, and it's gonna make it longer. So now let's see what we have. And it doesn't mess with the graph when you hold Alt, but if you do want to mess with the graph, make sure to select both of them and F9, or not F9, but like select the graph. And now we get this clean brightness thing. So now we're gonna add. I'm gonna keep adding OBS lens blur to all the parts. So yeah, I'll come back when I did that. But first, let me show you how I do the end part. So I'm gonna Control D this real quick, go all the way to the end. So right here, right, and go all the way to the top. I'm gonna hit right click, and it says time. You wanna do time reverse. So all of this just reverse, and now if I do, let me stop selecting these, and it's gonna go blur and flash for the next loop. So yeah, now I'm gonna come back after I do the lens blur, and yeah, now I added my lens blur. So now I'm gonna be adding another effect. Okay, so I kind of want to add another effect. It's kind of look plain, so let's see what I have with lens blur with everything so far, and we'll see if we might need to add another effect. I kind of want to make it smoother, so let's see. Yeah, that's kind of smooth, but I kind of want to make this part right here where it zooms in and right here a little bit smoother. So I'm gonna Control Alt Y and make sure this is probably right here, and just control this and make it a little layer. So I'll move like 2 frames, 3 frames to the left, and make sure this is like, so you get this marker. So we have the middle marker, right? And you want to go 1, 2, 3. Make sure it's 3 frames to the left, and go to the middle, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where you know, or 6. You could do 5 or 6. It all depends on you, on what you feel. So I'm at CCY time. CCY time gives like a little blur. So I'm gonna add 4 and 3 right here. Keyframe these two, and then go to all the way to the end and add 0. So right here, I'm gonna add 0 on this part too, so it doesn't get this little blur, and it's gonna go this little blur kind of with the thing. It's also, if you don't use AE, it's also called what is it? I think it's called something. It's a blur. It's in BCC. So let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I know it. If I do not know it, well, CCY time is the one I use. A lot of people use it for this. Alright, you could select all of these and F9 if you really want, but I kind of want to leave it like this because I actually kind of like how it looks. Let me see. It gives it a little opacity transition, but not really opacity. It just gives more frames. It just uses the frames and makes it a little blurry, and it's kind of sick. So I'm gonna do this for the other one. You can just Control D and just plop it down and get this little transition. And that's how it's pretty sick. That looks pretty sick and it's pretty smooth. Alright, now that we have that, we're gonna select all of these. So we have a loop right here. So I'm gonna select all of these. Let me close everything else so I can select all of these. And then you wanna go to the beginning. Make sure to go to the beginning. Pre-compose. I'm gonna name it loop 2. And make sure that box is there, checked. Because it's, you wanna make this, make sure that it's selected to this time zone. Press OK. And now you have everything still. Don't get me wrong. You didn't lose anything. Just click on the box and everything's still there. So you want to go back to this comp and Control D. And you want to dupe it. And let's see with this. Also, keep in mind, we did not add shakes to the edit because that takes a whole nother few minutes, and the CC because that takes so long to explain how to do it. And it's gonna make, this video is already long enough, as you can tell. So yeah, now let's play it when it renders. So alright, now that I have pre-rendered it already, let's see what we have. So amazing. I'll see this one. I kind of want to rewatch this, not gonna lie. I'm gonna see this first part and we'll see. Dude, that's so amazing. It just loops so well. And if you do not like this brightness right here, you could just mess around with the graph or take it out completely. It's all just depending on you. Editing is all depending on you and learning how to do it. So hopefully this video does help you out. So I'm gonna come back after I add my CC and my renders and my shakes, and let's see what we have. If you do want a part 2 on how I do shakes and my CC, make sure to comment. And hopefully you guys do watch the full video and enjoy it. If you only came here for the final product or the project file, it's also in the description. If you just want to skip the whole video, it's all good to me. I just want to help you guys out, and I know there's not in-depth, usually there's no in-depth tutorials on this, and I really just kind of want to like go off. So now I'm gonna come back after I render or add more effects, and let's see what I have with my CC and some shakes. Let's come back. Catch you guys later. Now that I finished adding my CC and some shakes, let's see what we have. Not gonna lie, this is so fun to make. And don't get me wrong, this tutorial is probably super long. I don't expect anybody to watch this much of it. But if you do really want to learn how to make an anime edit in depth, this is the best one, probably that I know. So here you go, and let's play is a wrap. So I'm gonna play it one more time for the final render, and yeah, I'll catch you guys to the next video where I make another Fortnite montage. So yeah, catch you guys later, and hopefully people do actually enjoy this edit, and it's pretty fun to make. Catch you guys later.